If you've been scrolling through the news lately, you've probably seen the headlines blowing up. Trump's Christmas bill just passed. $3,200 payments could hit SSI and SSDI accounts soon. And whether you're on Social Security, disability benefits, or just trying to make sense of what's actually going on, this update has people across America asking one thing: is this real? And what does it mean for me? Well, before you believe the hype or dismiss it as another rumor, you need to hear this. In the last few days, new proposals, heated debates, and fast-moving discussions in Washington have sparked a wave of speculation about holiday stimulus-style payments, potential benefit boosts, and how fast certain changes could roll out if approved. And the truth is, what's happening right now could directly shape the financial outlook for millions of Americans. Today, we're breaking down the noise. We're going to unpack where this $3,200 figure comes from, what's actually being discussed, what's not confirmed yet, and what these conversations could mean for SSI, SSDI, seniors, veterans, caregivers, and low-income families heading into the holiday season. So if you want clarity, not confusion, and you want the real story behind the headlines everyone is talking about, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, do me one quick favor. If you appreciate clear, honest breakdowns of major money and benefits news, hit that like button. It helps get this information to more people who need it right now. Before we jump into anything else, let's pick up right where we left off, because the energy around this topic is growing fast, and if you're watching this, chances are you or someone you care about could be directly affected by the conversations happening in Washington right now. So let's get right into it. First, let's talk about why this headline sparked such a massive reaction. Anytime the words bill, payments, SSDI, SSI, direct deposits, and Christmas show up in the same sentence, people pay attention. And that makes sense. For millions of Americans who rely on disability benefits, Social Security, or fixed incomes, unexpected expenses around the holidays aren't just stressful, they can be overwhelming. So when talk of a one-time payment or financial relief begins to circulate, it's natural for people to want details immediately. But the issue is, the conversation online tends to move faster than real policy. That's where the confusion starts. What's actually happening right now is something that has happened many times before in American politics: proposals, drafts, and ideas being floated publicly long before anything becomes official. When a former president like Donald Trump becomes part of the conversation, especially during an election cycle or immediately after a major political shift, it amplifies everything. People hear that a bill passed, that payments are coming, or that relief is on the way, and suddenly social media is flooded with excitement, fear, and speculation. But real legislation takes time, and understanding the process is the key to understanding what might come next. Now, in the last several weeks, what has gained momentum is the renewed discussion about cost of living relief. Many lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle have acknowledged that Americans with the lowest and most fixed incomes, SSI recipients, SSDI beneficiaries, seniors, caregivers, and low-income households, are being hit the hardest by rising prices. Even though inflation has slowed compared to the peak, the cost of basic necessities, food, utilities, rent, medication, has not returned to what it was before. So the idea of providing a one-time infusion of support isn't coming out of nowhere. It's part of a larger conversation about economic stability. This is where the $3,200 number enters the picture. The figure isn't random. It's tied to previous relief packages that were discussed or issued during earlier economic downturns. Some proposals floated numbers in that range as a way to reflect not just inflation, but the accumulated strain on households that have been struggling year after year without substantial increases beyond standard COLAs. So when people saw the numbers surface again, especially connected to the idea of a holiday bill, it triggered memories of earlier stimulus programs. But remember, we are in the stage of proposals, drafts, and discussions, not finalized payments. In order for any payment like that to become real, whether it's $200, $1,000, $3,200, or anything else, there are steps. A bill has to be introduced. It has to go through committees. It has to get enough votes. It has to pass both the House and the Senate. After that, it has to be signed. Then, agencies like the Social Security Administration and the Treasury have to coordinate on how payments would be distributed, which takes additional time. This is why it's so important not to get swept up by headlines alone. But at the same time, it's absolutely worth paying attention to these conversations because every major piece of relief in the past began exactly this way, as a proposal that gained enough attention and support to move forward. Now, let's talk about what this means specifically for SSI and SSDI recipients, because that's where most of the interest lies. People on disability benefits often experience the highest financial pressure with the fewest options to adjust their income. Many are unable to increase work hours, pick up a part-time job, or change careers due to medical limitations. On top of that, disability benefits are often modest, and for some people, they're the only source of income. So a proposal like this, one that acknowledges the financial challenges facing disabled Americans, hits close to home. If relief like this were to move forward, SSI recipients would typically be among the first to receive direct deposits due to the simplicity and speed of the payment system used by the Social Security Administration. SSDI recipients, depending on whether they receive benefits through direct deposit, direct express, or mailed checks, might receive payments in different batches. But historically, these groups have received federal relief relatively quickly once authorized. That's why so many people want to know whether they should be preparing, checking accounts, or expecting updates. But let's look at the bigger picture for a moment, because the political landscape always plays a major role. Anytime a former president proposes or supports major financial relief, especially close to Christmas or at the end of a year, analysts jump in with questions. Is this a real policy push? Is it political strategy? Is it an effort to shape public opinion? Is it something that will gather enough support to move through Congress? These are the questions lawmakers, journalists, and economists are asking right now. And while it's true that political timing often influences what gets discussed publicly, the underlying economic issue remains the same. There is ongoing pressure to provide relief for Americans living on fixed incomes. That pressure doesn't disappear when a headline fades. It continues to build until policymakers address it. Sometimes that results in immediate action. Sometimes it results in long, slow negotiations. Sometimes it leads to entirely new policy ideas. But the pressure itself is real. What's important, and what you should take away from this video, is that staying informed is your number one asset. A lot of people see a headline, assume it's official, and then feel let down when they realize the information wasn't complete. Others ignore the news entirely and miss updates that could actually benefit them. The goal here is to make sure you're right in the middle, aware, prepared, and equipped with the truth so you're never caught off guard, whether payments are approved or not. Now, let's break down what insiders, analysts, and policy observers say could happen next. Over the next several weeks, we're likely to see continued discussion about economic relief, not just for SSI and SSDI recipients, but for seniors, veterans, parents, and low-income workers. There is a strong push from multiple sides to provide something that eases financial pressure heading into the new year. Whether that comes in the form of a direct payment, a tax credit adjustment, a temporary increase, or an expanded benefit program is still up for debate. But the conversation is active, and the fact that it has resurfaced so prominently means lawmakers recognize the urgency. You might also see new proposals emerge, some realistic, some ambitious, and some unlikely to get traction. That's normal. Big policy ideas usually start as bold drafts that get revised again and again before they resemble anything that could actually pass. What you shouldn't do is assume every headline equals a guaranteed payment. What you should do is stay tuned, stay informed, and rely on sources that clearly explain what is confirmed, what is in progress, and what is rumor. Now, imagine for a moment that a payment like this did get approved. What would it actually look like? How fast would it move? How would it affect existing benefits? Historically, one-time relief payments have not reduced ongoing Social Security or disability benefits. They've been categorized separately, much like previous stimulus checks. That means beneficiaries didn't see reductions in monthly payments, back pay calculations, or Medicare/Medicaid eligibility. If a similar structure were used, it would likely operate the same way. But again, until a bill is written and approved, we can't say with absolute certainty. What we can say is that lawmakers are aware that harming benefit recipients is never politically popular, and any relief package that moves forward would likely be designed to avoid creating new financial hardship. Another factor is how the public reacts. Public pressure has a tremendous influence on whether relief proposals gain momentum. When millions of Americans speak up, calling representatives, sharing their experiences, posting online, writing emails, it sends a message that the issue isn't just political, it's personal. And when an issue becomes deeply personal for the public, lawmakers feel compelled to respond. So even if a payment like this isn't guaranteed at the moment, conversations like this video are part of what keeps the issue alive. As we move further into this script, I want to address something that comes up constantly in my comment section. People want clarity. They want to know, should I expect this? Should I be excited? And here's the most honest way to put it. You should stay hopeful, but grounded. Hopeful because relief is absolutely possible. Grounded because nothing is official until it passes every necessary step. The worst thing you can do is let rumors create anxiety. The best thing you can do is stay aware, stay calm, and stay connected to reliable updates we provide right here on this channel. And remember, even if this specific figure or this specific proposal doesn't move forward exactly as presented, the pressure for relief doesn't disappear. Lawmakers know they have a responsibility to address economic strain. They know millions of Americans rely on benefits that haven't kept up with the real cost of living. They know seniors, disabled individuals, veterans, and caregivers are some of the hardest hit groups. This isn't a conversation that's going away. It's gaining momentum, and the more attention it gets, the more likely something substantial will emerge. As we wrap up this segment of the video, let me leave you with this. Don't fall for fear, but don't fall for hype. Stand in the middle. Stay aware. And stay tuned, because we are tracking every development, every update, every press release, every proposal, and every statement that could impact your finances and your benefits. You will always hear the truth here, not rumors, not clickbait, not empty promises, just clear, real explanations you can rely on. Now, before we continue breaking down what could happen next and how upcoming decisions may affect your payments, do me one quick favor. If you appreciate honest, clear updates on issues that affect your wallet, your benefits, and your future, make sure to like this video right now. It helps this information reach more people who need it, and it supports the channel so we can continue bringing you essential updates every single week.